Welcome to practice. We're talking about how it's the last Monday in August, and there's something about the weather, like you can feel that beginning of the transition from end of summer into the early fall. And just like energetically speaking, there's like a kind of like a heaviness in the air. So I wanted to craft a practice for this evening that was going to be really balancing in nature, but also honor and meet the energy where it's at. So we will be spending a much longer time than usual, doing longer holding stretches, low to the earth poses, and then some breath work, which I think that kind of work can really be done, for those of you who are getting the replay, it could be done at any time of day. And it's not going to throw off your energy for the rest of the day. So we're actually going to begin standing. So I think, well, at least for me, the temptation to I'm really feeling the pull of gravity, that earth energy. So we're going to begin standing. You can have your padding close by. And come to the top of your mat. And separate your feet about hips distance apart. I'm actually going to begin by facing you. Just come to the top of your mat so you have all the rest of your mat behind you. And take a peek down at your feet and lift and spread your toes for a moment. And as you lay them back down, try and lay them down from the pinky toe to the fourth toe to the third toe to the second toe to the big toe. And then just spend a moment like shifting the weight from big toe ball mound to outer edge of the foot, big toe ball mound to outer edge of the foot, and then settle at a place that feels like it's spread fairly even, and then shift the weight from the heels more to the ball of the foot. So now that you've got the weight even from inner to outer edge of foot, find that more even distribution from the back to the front of the foot. And then once you've got that placement, allow your bones to settle. So let your pelvic floor relax, let your belly soften and expand, and just let your arms be heavy and hang down. And just notice your breath. And without too much muscular effort, I'd like for you to close your eyes and bring your awareness to the arches of your feet. And feel how that dome-shaped musculature in the arches of the feet actually has a relationship to the dome-shaped musculature of the pelvic floor, as well as the dome-shaped musculature of the thoracic diaphragm, as well as the dome-shaped musculature of the vocal diaphragm. And then imagining that there was a balloon floating, maybe not directly above your head, but just slightly in front, a little bit more towards your forehead. Lengthen up until you feel that these arches in the body, these diaphragms, are more stacked. And as the spine lengthens up, allow the lower jaw to soften down. And if it feels nice for you to place hands at belly and heart or your palms together, just find a position of the hands that helps you feel more connected, more grounded, more embodied. And begin by welcoming yourself to this present moment. Just enjoying the privilege of your own attention. Making contact with your breath. And feeling how just by bringing your awareness to the breath that your relationship to it changes, that the quality of the breath itself can shift to a more mindful, more relaxed, deeper rhythm. So offering the vibration of Om, please feel free to blend your voice with mine or simply receive. Softly blink your eyes open. And on your next breath in, just reach your arms straight out to the sides. And then fold fold your thumb into your fist and go ahead and close your other fingers on top of your thumb. Put a teeny tiny bend to your elbows and hug muscle to bone, and then start to circle the arms, in a range of motion that feels good for your shoulders. And I'd like for you to feel that the circle comes, the effort, the drivers, not only the muscles in the shoulders, but the muscles around the shoulder blades. Go ahead and switch the direction of the shoulders. So feel some movement at the shoulder blades as the hands are circling, the arms are circling. 3, 2, 1. And then on your next breath in, just reach the arms apart. So maybe you're feeling a little bit of stretch across the chest. As you exhale, turn and gaze towards your right hand, just as you would for warrior 2. Even like through both sides of the waist. Inhale, turn your head through center. Exhale, gaze over your left hand. Inhale, gaze through center. Exhale, interlace your hands together behind your low back. Draw the bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards each other and down the back. And as you reach your hands just slightly away from the body, just to where you feel a nice, easy opening across the chest and then the shoulders, can you keep the diaphragm stacked? And then this time you're going to tip your right ear towards your right shoulder, some lateral flexion, a side bend through the neck. Take a breath into the stretch on the left side and out. Next breath in, lift your head through center. Return to that image of the balloon floating up. Your spine is like the string dangling down, and then exhale, your left ear tips down towards your left shoulder. Invite a breath in, especially into the right side of the neck, and out. And next inhale, lift your head through center. Exhale, release your arms by your sides, and then externally rotate your upper arms so you're feeling Tadasana here. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, and the arms can reach straight forward or out to the sides or somewhere in between, whatever feels best for your shoulders. And then as you exhale, sit back into fierce pose. Now, notice if there's a lot of gripping or lifting through the toes or the front of the ankles. Just go as low as your body will allow till your thighs really start to talk to you. Ground through the heels. Use your glutes to come all the way up to stand. Inhale. Your left hand will take just below your right wrist, and then as you exhale, lean up and over to your left for standing side stretch. Ground down through the feet evenly. Inhale, stand tall, sweep your arms wide to the sides. Exhale, give yourself a hug, right arm underneath. And then the action of this is like you're pulling a shirt up overhead. Lift your elbows to the sky and let your arms follow. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, sit back. Utkatasana. Use your whole exhale to sit back. And just notice if there's a whole lot of gripping in the toes, maybe you need to shift the weight further back to the heels. Inhale, stand. Right hand will hold just below your left wrist. Exhale, lengthen up and over to the right. It's a side stretch, second side. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, give yourself a hug. The left arm now will come underneath. As you inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And then exhale to, one more time, sit back into Utkatasana. And then stay low in the legs, interlace the hands together behind you, and then play with popping up onto your heels. Hug your feet towards each other. And then slowly lower your heels down. Draw the bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards each other. Slowly lift your heels up. Really press your big toes down. Hug your feet towards each other. Slowly lower down. Feel how this gets you some connection into the pelvic floor and the deep core. Heels lift. Slowly the heels lower. Keep your knees uber bent. Bring your rib cage onto your thighs. Let your head be heavy. Feel free to bend the elbows and then start to slide your hands up overhead. And then you can play a little bit with this pulsation of the legs, pushing your thighs back, rounding your heels down. So moving towards a more straight leg position, and then bending your knees and going into a deeper squat. And we'll just do that a couple more times. And as the thighs press back, maybe the hands reach overhead a little bit more. And exhale, easing out, just let your head hang down. One more time. Exhale. With this bend of the knees, unclasp your hands and let your hands make contact either with the floor or blocks might be really nice for this. So you're going to shift your weight over to your left leg. And as you Step your right foot back into a lunge. And then as you exhale, step your right foot forward. So you're going to keep your knees bent the whole time. Inhale to step your left leg back. So moving slowly with the breath, use your whole inhale to step back and feel that lengthening from your left foot through the top of the head, just like you did in Tadasana. And then exhale, stepping your left foot forward so your knees are bent. Lift your belly up, press your fingertips down. We're going to go back and forth a few times. Right leg back into the lunge. And then exhale, press down through your left heel to connect, especially through your left glutes. Lift your waistline, curl into yourself. Inhale, left leg back. So feel that shift of weight. And then exhale, nice and slow. Try and smooth out the transition, left foot forward. So moving on, inhale, right foot back. Pause a moment here, and then exhale, round your spine like a cat pose, like a Halloween cow. And then as you inhale, moving more into cow. So we've been experimenting for a few weeks now, cat-cow in different positions. And one more time, as you exhale, press down through your feet, lift your belly, round like a Halloween cat. Pause here, and then you're going to continue to root down through your legs, belly lifts in and up, and roll up into your high lunge. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. This is going to be a similar flow to when we were in Tadasana. As you exhale, bend your back knee. How low you go is up to you. So you could lower all the way to the floor. Padding would be nice. Or you could just bend a little bit, right? Inhale, back leg straight. Your left hand will hold just below your right wrist. Exhale, lengthen up and over to your left. So the tendency will be for that left hip to hike. Can you wrap it down? Inhale, rise up. Exhale, give yourself a hug, right arm underneath the left. And then the action is of like taking a shirt off. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, back knee bends. Maybe it comes all the way down to the ground. Inhale, rise up. Right hand holds just below the left wrist. Exhale, side stretch to the other side. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, give yourself a hug. Left arm under. Pull the t-shirt up overhead. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, touch the blocks out in front of you. Now walk your hands to the right. Excuse the butt shot. So here we are in wide-legged fold. Right, so you can take your blocks with you. Inhale, push your legs straight-ish. Lengthen your spine. And then exhale, walk your left hand so that it's underneath your breastbone, right underneath your center. And then twist to the right, reach your right arm to the sky. Press to the outer heels and hug your legs towards each other. Inhale to unwind. Your right hand will replace your left. And then exhale, twisting to the left. Left arm reaches up. Inhale to unwind. Now turn the right leg out as if you were going to come into Skandasana. And then exhale, bend your right knee. And then take your right elbow to the inside of your right leg. Right elbow to the inside of your right leg. So it's not quite pointing up to the top of your mat. Just press the arm and leg against each other and sweep your left arm over your ear. So it's essentially a side angle pose. And the angle of the front leg is slightly different. Press the elbow and the leg against each other. A couple more breaths. I just wanted to turn to face you so you had a clearer view. One more. And then the right hand to the floor. Exhale, left hand to the floor. Kind of duck underneath through wide-legged fold. Turn all the way back to the top of your mat. And then step the right foot forward. Curl into yourself. Inhale, slowly step your left foot back. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Lift your waistline. Round and press your fingertips down. Inhale, slowly step your right leg back. Exhale, slowly step your right foot forward. Connect to the core. Lift your belly up, round your spine. Press the fingertips down. And then last time, inhale, step your left leg back. Exhale, round like a Halloween cat. So we're going to cat-cow here. And then inhale, lift your bottom up, lift your chest. Exhale, pelvic floor lifts. Squeeze your legs towards each other, round. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. Pause here. Press down through your right heel even more, lift your waistline up even more, and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, slowly lower the back knee a little bit or a lot or somewhere in between. Inhale, back thigh to sky. Right hand holds below your left wrist. Exhale, lean up and over to the right. Strong back leg. Inhale through center. Exhale, give yourself a hug, left arm under. Inhale, pull the t-shirt up. Exhale, over the back knee, down. Inhale, push your back thigh to the sky. Now left hand holds below your right wrist. Exhale, lean up and over to your left. Inhale, rise through center. Exhale, give yourself a hug, right arm under. Pull the t-shirt up overhead. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, touch the blocks or the floor. Feel free to take your blocks with you. Make your way into wide-legged fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left arm to the sky. Now turn your palm, your upper arm, towards the right hip, and then you can go more into a half bind. So if you can get your fingers close to the right hip bone, you can use that hand to help lift the right side up as you also push from the top of the left hip, push down your left leg into your left foot. One more breath here. Inhale, swim your left arm overhead. Unwind. Exhale, left hand replaces the right hand and twist to the other side. Right arm to the sky. Find that internal rotation of the upper arm. Your palm faces back. And then wrap the arm behind you. Hold where you can. Keep your legs turned on. Feel the relationship between head and tail. Can you return to that feeling of lengthening? That balloon floating to the sky that we did in Tadasana. Inhale, reaching your right arm up. Exhale, right hand touches down. Soften the arms, the elbows, and hang down for a moment. Next, inhale, push the floor away, lengthen, and then turn your left leg out. Just, a sensible amount. Like for me, my toes are pointing to the back corner of my mat. Bend your left knee, and then bring your left elbow to the inside of your left knee. So you're pressing them against each other, right? Keeping the outer edge of your foot heavy, and then extend your right arm over ear. So it's a side angle variation. It's a little bit more strength-based. Continue to press down into your back foot. A couple more breaths. And then exhale, sweep your right hand to the floor. Duck under through wide-legged fold. Make your way back to the top of your mat. And then step your left foot forward. So bend your knees, and if it feels okay for you, you can lift your heels up if you need to. Right, so I have pretty long Achilles. I can actually keep my heels down. We're gonna go all the way to sit. So reach your hands behind you. Kind of catch yourself if you need to, and then have a seat. Great. So my tailbone always digs into the floor for core work. So this is a place that your padding might serve you. So make yourself as comfortable as possible. And then take your cushion or your block or whatever you have in place of your block and snuggle it between the upper inner thighs. And then hold on to the backs of the legs. Do we have two? Do some of us have two blocks? It's not necessary. Okay, all right, great. So I'll show the block and the no block variation. Hold the backs of your legs. If you have a second block, have it nearby. Look towards your waistline, squeeze the block, and then try to lift your frontal hip bone away from your thigh bones. You're kind of scooping back this way. So if you don't have a block, you're going to reach your arms out in front of you and clasp your palms together this way. If you have a block, you're going to take the block at its widest and hold it between your palms this way. And then press your palms against each other, or press your palms into the block, and feel how that gets a little bit more firing, a little bit higher up. And then rotate to your right. So keep your legs, just like in Utkatasana, you wouldn't want your left thigh to shift forward. Rotate to your right. Bend your elbows and kind of row back. And then sit up a little bit. And as you exhale, lean back through center, rotate to your left. And then bend the elbows and sit up. So it's sort of like you're rowing. Right, you stay in this spinal flexion the whole time. Rotate, pull back. Inhale, center. Exhale, scoot back, rotate. Bend your elbows and push the oar behind you. Good, so if you have a block, you can also try without. And see how that feels. It might give you a little bit more of a sensation of actually rowing. The block is going to give you a little bit more fire. So see which one makes sense for your body. We're just going to do one more in each direction. Rotate it to the right and the elbows. You're paddling. Scoot back through center. Rotate to your left and the elbows. Rise up through center. So if you do have a block, go ahead and lower it down just to either side. Reach your arms out. And then lower down to a place that feels like an appropriate amount of challenge for you. Right, trembling's okay, but like a lot of neck tension is not. Squeeze the block, and then straighten your left leg. Keep squeezing the block. And then press your palms together and rotate to your left. And as you exhale, pull back a little bit. Inhale, forward. Exhale, pull back a little bit. Squeeze the block. Inhale, forward. Exhale, pull back a little bit. Inhale, forward. Last one. Exhale, pull back a little bit. Inhale, forward. Lower your left foot to the floor. Unwind. Straighten your right leg. Maybe switch the clasp of your hands. Exhale, rotate to the right. Pull back a little bit. Inhale, forward. Keep squeezing the block. Exhale, pull back a little bit. Inhale, forward. Both legs squeezing the block evenly. Two more. One more. Lower the right foot. Come back through center. Through the center. Exhale, pull back a little bit. Inhale, forward. Exhale, pull back a little bit. Strong arms. Inhale, forward. Two more. Exhale, pull back a little bit. Inhale, forward. Last one. Exhale, pull back a little bit. Stay. Lower a little bit more. 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 Lower all the way down to the ground. Remove the block. Walk your feet a little closer in. Take your arms out to the sides. Lift and turn your head to the right. This is a similar shape to what we did in the very beginning of practice. But no more passive. Stay present with your breath. One more breath here. Head heavy. Left side of the neck and jaw and chest also. And then rotate your head through center as far to the left as you can. Slow your breathing down, and just notice how you feel through your core. Besides tired. Core work is such good medicine for me. At least I always feel like so much more connected between the upper and lower body. And then turn your head through center, and then draw the right knee into your chest and extend your left leg long. Flex your right foot and just extend your right leg to the sky. It doesn't matter if your leg doesn't straighten. It doesn't have to be any closer to you than 90 degrees. If your right knee is bent, that's completely okay. So interlace your hands together behind your head, and then as you exhale, curl the head and shoulders up. Now if you can see your left leg, that's great. Can you have a nice neutrally positioned left leg? So your kneecap and all 5 toes are pointing up. Now press that left leg down. Press your navel down, curl up a little higher, and pull your right leg up. Now from there, rotate to the right again. Take your left arm to the outside of your right thigh. Press them against each other. Now take your right hand just below your left wrist and pull yourself further up off the ground, like you're trying to pull your right shoulder blade up off the ground. That's it. And every inhale, press your left leg into the floor. Reach up through your right leg. Every exhale, curl up a little bit higher. And I'm feeling this in some interesting places. 2. One more. Press the left leg down. Curl up, curl up, curl up. 1. Lift your left leg up to meet your right leg. Come through center. Bend your knees, lie back and rest. Take a breath. Straighten your right leg on the floor. Pull your left knee into your chest. Some of us might be feeling like a nice stretch through the front of the right hip or the front of the right thigh, and then extend your left leg to the sky. So again, bent knee is invited. Now firmly press your right leg into the ground. And as you exhale, try to sink your belly button back towards the floor to curl up. Let your head be a little heavy into your hands, so you're not straining your neck to lift, but it's really coming from the abdominal wall. Check out your right leg. Take a peek at the direction that the knees and toes are pointing in. Reach up through your left leg, and then exhale, rotate to your left and reach your right arm across like you're trying to shake someone's hand. Good, left hand holds just below the right wrist, curl up a little bit higher. Curl up a little bit higher. Press the right arm and the left leg against each other. Press the right leg into the floor, exhale, curl up a little bit higher. Last 2 breaths. Those exaggerated exhales are always helpful for a little bit more core connection. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, unwind, reach for the toes. Try to lift your tailbone up off the floor, not to pull your feet closer to you, but to press your feet to the sky. And then bend your knees and lie back and rest. Draw your knees into your chest. Rock up to sit. And make your way back to our first downward facing dog. So if there's something that you need before you get there, please feel free. Ooh, this mat is slippery. I'm not practicing on my regular mat. So in down dog, try to reconnect to that feeling of lengthening. Like your head is a balloon and your spine is the string. So even though it's a very different relationship to gravity than Tadasana, can you employ those same actions? Breathe into the back of the heart, into the side ribs. On your next inhale, reach your right leg back and up into the sky. And then exhale, knee to navel, and then pull your right knee out and find pigeon. And we're gonna do that a few times, right? Keep your left leg firm. Inhale, down dog split. Exhale through to pigeon. So we're not sitting, you're just gonna find it, feel it, and then come out of it. Inhale, right leg reaches back and up. And exhale through to pigeon. Okay, lower your back knee. Pull your legs towards each other. Come to your fingertips. So if you've got your blocks, you can always walk your hands up onto your blocks. So find that upright, the outer form is back bend, but the inner action is that you're trying to stack the diaphragms of the body, throat, rib cage, and pelvis. And then walk your hands out in front of you and lower your forearms to the floor. And even in this position, can you find that more stacked feeling of throat and rib cage and pelvis? And then bend your back knee and kick your heel towards your bottom. So feel how your glutes and hamstrings can fire to achieve that action. Take your left forearm parallel to the top of your mat, right hand to your hip, and then twist. Now as you twist, careful that the left side of your pelvis is not falling to the ground. Reach the right hand back for your pant leg, for your foot. If you've got your strap handy, you can lasso your toes. And we'll be here for several more breaths. You can experiment a little bit and turn your head in slightly different angles and find the position that feels best for your neck. And by best, I mean like no strain, that you feel long and supported and can soften through the jaw. It's going to be slightly different for all of us. It's not without its effort. The right shin is pressing down, and you're using your arm to help draw that left heel in a little bit closer. Last 3 breaths here. And on your next inhale, let it go, unwind. Come back up. Exhale, free your right leg to the sky. Point your toes, fan your right hip open, bend your right knee and squeeze your heel towards your left sitting bone, and then bend your left knee a little bit just so that you can really see and track your left knee more towards your second toe. Lengthen from the left hip to the left armpit. Lift your gaze, and then as you exhale, draw your right knee to your navel and step the ball of your right foot about halfway up towards your hands. From there, lift your left leg to the sky, the right knee still bent. And you can work here, just shift the weight from the right foot to the hands, pull the belly in, push the floor away, or if you want to play a little bit more with kicking up, your left leg is going to stay strong and straight. Your right foot is the driver. Your right foot is the one that's going to push, and play around a little bit with handstands. Jeff, don't you wish you were in your basement? 3 more. It's good to have that feedback though. Okay, so if you want to take a joining vinyasa between sides, feel free. We haven't done a single one yet. And if you want to skip it, I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Take a nice breath in dog pose. And then on your next inhale, free your left leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to navel, and then widen your left knee and sweep your ankle towards your right wrist and land in pigeon. And then inhale back to dog split. Exhale to pigeon. This is just interesting for me to note like how the left leg finds pigeon on its own so much easier than the right. And then land. Lower your back knee, keep your right glutes firm. Pull the legs towards each other to come a little bit more upright. Use your blocks if you'd like, if you have them. Find that more, the inner action of trying to stack the diaphragm. So even though the outer form is back bend, you're still trying to slide throat back, ribs back. Get your pelvis underneath you. Keep your right glutes firing. Another breath here. And then from that, deep awareness inside, lean forward. Lower your forearms down. Try and lift your left frontal hip bone up off your left thigh bone. Remember when we did that in our core work earlier. So you're not just sinking into your legs here. Now take your right forearm parallel to the top of your mat, your left hand to your hip, and find the twist. Same actions in the body that you did in wide-legged fold twist. Kick your heel towards your sitting bone. Catch where you can. Turn your belly to the left, your ribs to the left. Notice if you're turning your pelvis to the left. Can there be space between the upper and lower teeth and between the eyebrows? A few more breaths. Let your breath be easy. What do you need to do for your breath to be easy here? Two more. And then let that go and unwind. Back to down dog split. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Point your toes. Fan the hip open, bend your knee. Now reach your heel towards your right sitting bone and then bend your right knee. Kind of widen your knee. So wrap your outer shin back. Lengthen from right hip to armpit. Take a breath. Exhale, pull the knee, the thigh, in towards your navel and just let the ball of your foot land wherever it lands. For me, it's about halfway up. As you lift your right leg up, shift the weight forward into your hands. The right leg is going to stay strong and straight. The left foot is pushing, and then you're going to kick your heel towards your sitting bone. So try a few hops. Maybe 3 more. 2. 1, joining Vinyasa, Yogi's Choice. And then lower your knees down and come to tabletop. And we're coming into thread the needle. So I'm going to turn to face you this way. And sometimes for thread the needle, it's nice to actually pad the shoulder. And by that I mean taking your right arm onto your blanket or your towel Right, so you kind of like bring the floor up to you a little bit. So the toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels best for your feet. And you can use your left hand almost like a kickstand. Try to work more of the back of your head, so rather than just the right side of your head against the floor, work more of the back of your head to the floor. And then you can extend your left leg as well. So you choose, do you want the inside edge of your foot to the floor, or do you want your foot flat? Either one. And try to send more breath into the bottom right ribs. Couple more breaths here. And then press your left hand into the floor and unwind. And then simply return your left knee back into tabletop. Moving into the other side, thread your left arm through. And you can take some time to get into it a little bit deeper. And if you did so on the first side, feel free to extend the right leg. Sending more breath into the lower left back of the ribs. Firm through the right thigh, a couple more breaths. Then press down through the right hand on your next inhale, unwind. And then if you'd like to step your knees onto your pie, turn and face you this way, we're going to come into camel pose. Twists and back bends, twists and thigh stretches are really nice coupling. Pull your pelvis down, draw your shoulder blades into the back of the heart, lift your chest. So keeping your chin slightly tucked into your chest. Press, like imagine that your feet were against a wall and that you're trying to push back into the wall, lift your heart up. You can walk your hands down your thighs, maybe that's camel pose for you. If it feels like no big deal for you to bring your fingertips to your heels, do that. You can also have your hands on blocks here. You'll notice that you don't hear a huge change in my voice. So if you just drop your head back, that's going to close off your airway. All right, so try to maintain, you can even talk to yourself if you're muted, no one can hear. You should be able to have your voice come through with ease. Just a couple more breaths here. On your next exhale, zip up through the belly, stand down into your knees, and stack the vertebrae one atop the other. Head comes up last. Untuck your toes, and then have a seat up on a little bit of height. So if you'd like to have more height, you can use your blocks. But then when we come to an extended leg position, I'd like for you to use your blanket underneath your calf. So I don't want the back of the knee hammocking to the floor. I'd like some support underneath your left leg. Right? If you don't need blocks and you can sit, you can fold your fabric up a bunch and that is sufficient for you, then do that. You have more of your leg on the ground. So first find your seat. And then extend your left leg out to the side. So as if you had two straight legs, your legs could be about 90 degrees apart. So even if you can go more than that, I'm going to ask you to work within 90 degrees. Take your pelvis and pull downward towards the floor and feel that your two sitting bones are pretty evenly anchored. And then return to that balloon effect and relax your jaw and your shoulders. And then softly flex your left foot and firm the whole back of your left leg into the floor. slide your left hand either on top of or along the inside of your left leg. Now, the right sitting bone will tend to get light, so you can use your right hand at the top of your pelvis to encourage rooting. And just keep walking your hand towards your left foot. And then feel how you can actually press your left fingertips into the floor and push towards your foot to get more anchoring through that right sitting bone. And then that might give more opening to the right side body. So if you extend your right arm over your ear, like side angle pose, it's going to give you even more stretch and reach and space through the upper fibers. And you just want to be able to be here without a whole lot of tension. So, if it helps you to close your eyes, you're invited to go more inward into the feeling body. Breathe calmly and quietly through the nose. And if the right arm becomes tired or starts to feel like it's efforting too much, you can experiment with arm position. If you're able to rest your left elbow against your left leg, you can maybe turn your palm towards the sky and try to reach for your foot in that direction. You can even take your right hand around your head and give yourself something to lean back into. Really slow down inside. Stretch your breath, both your inhales and your exhales, to be a little bit longer. Be here for about 5 more breaths. Just feel how with the passage of time and patience in your breath, that your body yields. And then draw your waistline back and rotate your rib cage towards the floor so your right hand can easily come to the floor, and walk yourself through center. Now lengthen as if you had 2 straight legs, like a wide-legged fold. Lengthen right through the center. You can start to walk your hands further out. If you aren't sitting on your blocks, you could maybe lower your forearms down onto your blocks. And the left leg will likely want to turn inward here. So can you stay really clear in the actions of the left leg? Send the breath all through the back body. You might be feeling breath move more easily into the right side since we just spent some time opening there. Another breath here. Exhale, a little more connection to the core belly button, lifting away from the floor. Walk your hands back, push the floor away, and sit up nice and tall. And just take a moment to feel the difference from one side to the other. And then switch legs. Extending the right leg out long as you bend your left knee. And so again, the hand can go on the top of the leg or along the inside of the leg. And go slow and respectfully, sliding your hand along the leg, reaching to the side, and then feeling how you can press your hand down and away to anchor the sitting bone, the opposite sitting bone. Yeah. You can add the reach of the left arm. This is a place that the ribs tend to pop forward, or the lower back tends to either move deeper into like a back bend position or a forward bend position. So can you still connect to that stacking of the diaphragms of the body here? And finding whatever arm position works best for you. Support your head. If the angle of the arm is bothersome for your body in any way, just experiment with a different angle, with a different arm position. Maybe a half bind. About 5 more breaths here. A little bit of a twist that you're going to start to spin the left side of your rib cage to the floor. And then once your left hand can easily make contact with the ground, walk yourself through center. And then just like notice what's happening through the right leg. Can you keep the back of the leg rooted from the sitting bone all the way through the center of the leg to the center of the heel as you reach out and over yourself? A couple more breaths here. And then connecting a little bit more deeply to the core. So you walk your hands back, push the floor away, and come up to sit. Bringing the soles of the feet together and the knees apart. So press your inner heels together. Take your hands to the insides of the knees and actually press your knees up against your hands, and your hands are just there to resist. We're talking like 30 or 40% of your maximum effort. So it's not a huge, effortful thing. And then lengthen and take the length of the spine out and over the legs. So we're not rounding yet, you're just lengthening. Legs pressing up into the hands. The hands are resisting. And then bring your hands to the floor and reach out. And walk your hands over to the left. So you're basically framing your left knee. Press your fingertips down and away from you to help root your right sitting bone a little bit more. Try to create more space through the left side waist. Lift your belly back and reach out and over your left knee. So it is a little bit rounded. You're still working to lengthen, but the outer form is rounding. The inner action is lengthening. And then plant your left hand and start to rotate your left ribs towards your feet, towards the front of your mat. Reach your right arm over your ear, so now here you are in a side bend. And then stretch your right arm to the sky and reach away and pull yourself up to sit through center. Press your heels together, lean forward, reach out in front of you. Lengthen the top of the head away from the tail. And then meander over to the right. This more twisted shape, bringing more breath, more space to the low left side, back and pelvis and ribs. Press your hands down and away, lift your belly button away from your right thigh, and then out and over. Just feel this energetic connection between the top of your head and your right knee. And then press the right hand against the floor so much that you can start to rotate open, ribs square towards your feet. Nice side stretch. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling, and then away from you, and pull yourself up by your left arm. And extend your legs out long. Please make your way down onto your back, and if you'd like a little padding for your head, use your towel or your blanket, and then have your strap-like thing handy. knee into your chest. Go ahead and strap the ball of your left foot or the arch of your left foot. Extend your left leg to the sky. And then lengthen your right leg long. You can relax the right leg so you don't have to hold it in like a Tadasana-like position. Just let it fall open into Shavasana, let it do its thing. Letting go, soften your belly. You let your head get heavier. Your eyes get heavier, let your belly soften. Let your jaw soften. Let your breath lengthen. So subtle, quiet inhales through the nose and then a longer exhale. It's okay to have your left knee be a little bit bent. Couple more breaths here. And then you'll take both ends of your belt into your left hand. Take your right hand to your hip and start to rotate your left leg open. So more of like a triangle pose position for the leg. And I'm bending my left elbow and I'm actually resting my elbow against the floor. I'm going to let go a little bit of the muscular effort here and going into more passive stretching. Soften the inner and outer corners of the eyes. Exhale slightly longer in the inhales. Breaths here. Next breath in, bring your leg back to center. Remove the belt, bend your knee. And just we're not going all the way to the floor, but like a quarter of the way into a twist. Taking your leg across the body. And then please unwind and drop your left foot to the floor and let your right knee in to your chest. And strap your right foot. Left leg long, right leg up. And then soften your belly and your hips so your left leg basically falls open into Shavasana. Let your head be heavy. Just be in this shape, inviting yourself to relax and rest as much as possible as you extend the right leg. So it's okay for the knee to be a little bit bent. It's okay for you to not be in this perfect Tadasana-like alignment. So let yourself soften into the floor. So just soften your sense organs, your jaw, your tongue, skin on your face, your shoulders. across your body towards a twist. Come back to center. Just draw both knees into your chest for a moment. And cup your knees with the palms of your hands and just stir your legs a little bit in one direction. And then the other direction. And then you can decide a comfortable position for the legs. You can either come to a constructive rest where your feet are wide and your knees are knocked in against each other, or if Shavasana feels more restful for you, then come into Shavasana. Just invite yourself into the stillness. Letting go of any tension around your face and neck, your shoulders, arms are heavy, your fingers are soft. Soften in the armpits and the sides of the waist. Soften deep in the belly and the pelvic floor. Soften the hips. Feel the legs even heavier against the earth. Soft toes. A sense of spaciousness between the toes and the soles of the feet. Welcome any sounds that you hear. And there's no need to follow any particular sound, but simply welcome in all the sounds. And welcome your effortless breath, your effortless body. Letting go of everything outside of the now, and just witnessing with compassion all that is. And so we're not stretching the breath to match any particular count, but on your next inhale, I'd like for you to just count your breath. And we'll say, for example, your inhale is about 3 counts. And please just extend your exhale to be 2 counts longer than your breath in. So if your natural inhale was for 3, exhale for 5. And that's all. And then stretching your inhale to be an additional 2 counts in. And your exhale can now stretch to be an additional 2 counts out. And stay with this breath ratio. But feel that your next inhale enters in through the left nostril and through the palm of the left hand up the arm and the sole of the left foot up the leg through the whole side of the body. And then it moves across your center, your midline. And as you exhale, that slightly longer exhale, it flows out the right nostril, down the right arm, and down the right leg. And then your next breath in flows in through the whole right side and the right nostril and moves across the middle. A slightly longer breath out as it flows out through the left side. So we've all practiced alternate nostril breathing before. This is alternate nostril breathing with alternate body breathing. Feeling the breath move through the limbs, through the side body, across your center, and out the other side. Bathing all your cells, nourishing your cells with this calm, easy flow of awareness and breath. witnessing the breath as you experience it. No rush at all. The next time you exhale through your left side, let that breath practice go. And take a nice balancing breath in through both nostrils. And just pause at the top of your inhale. And at your first urge to exhale, slow down the beginning of your exhale. And then pause at the bottom of your breath out. And with your first urge to inhale, slow down the beginning of the inhale. Very gentle breath with very gentle pauses at the top and the bottom. After your next exhale, let this go. Just allow yourself to be still and bask in the aftermath of your practice. Feeling the effects of your practice ripple through multiple aspects of your being. Energetic being, your physical being, your emotional being. Just staying in that relaxed and more integrated place inside as you become more aware of your surroundings and of the position of your body on the floor. And you can bend the elbows and rest your hands on your abdomen. So you bend your knees and rest your feet on the floor. Make your way onto your side. Coming up to sit when you're ready. And connecting to that midline, that heart space, as you bring your palms together. And as you bow to your heart, I bow to you. Namaste.